According to a war strategy in ancient China, if you want to stop the water from boiling, you have to move away the firewood under the cauldron. Let's compare the outbreak to boiling water. Like water, the virus would become more active if it's left to boil. What you need to do is remove the firewood, that is, to cut off the source of infection. Throughout this outbreak, China followed this ancient maxim, heavily influencing the China practice. In China, yin shou jin shou is a hot word right now. Shou means to receive. This phrase means to leave no one behind, to leave no one unattended. At the beginning of the outbreak, hospitals in Wuhan were overwhelmed. Facing tens of thousands of patients, they were well over capacity. Before long, stadiums and convention centers were transformed into makeshift hospitals, mainly treating mild cases. The first 3 hospitals were set up in only 29 hours, accommodating 4,000 patients. In total, 16 makeshift hospitals were set up in Wuhan, treating 12,000 patients in just 35 days. Meanwhile, existing hospitals expanded capacity. Hospitals in Wuhan treating COVID-19 patients increased to 48 by the end of February from only 2 in January. From patients waiting for beds to beds waiting for patients in hardly any time at all. In China, it was understood that if some patients were being treated in hospitals, while asymptomatic people were still visiting grocery stores and taking subways, it's like putting cold water into a heated cauldron. Eventually, you'll reach a boiling point. On February 17th, a 3-day door-to-door inspection plan was launched in Wuhan's 3,300 communities and villages. Those who had a fever required testing. Those who tested positive were sent to hospital. Suspected cases were put under quarantine in transformed hotels and schools that acted as observation sites. At those sites, people lived in separate rooms. Everything was free, from accommodation to food and treatment. On March 19th, Wuhan reported a 0 increase of confirmed cases. Now, Wuhan is retesting all of its residents. The city is becoming a safer place. For China's 1.4 billion people, leaving no one unattended equates to a lot of expenditure. But it's clear from this year's government work report that life is invaluable. It's a price we must pay, and a price worth paying, because this is the China practice.